right, so you have completed your summary and your annotation of the article. And now we're ready to do the other two paragraphs. So remember the article of the week has 3 paragraphs. It has a personal narrative, it has a summary paragraph, and then it has some kind of analysis depending on which question you choose to respond to. So it could be a compare and contrast, it could be analyzing the structure or choices that the author is making, it could be an opinion question, so it could be an argument, supporting your argument, lots of different ways that we can focus in on some aspect of the article. So I noticed in Human Hierarchy that Kendi begins this article talking about the Puritans and the struggles that they had coming to this country. And so let's follow along that idea and describe an experience that you've had being a stranger in a strange land. So it could be any kind of experience you had where you were in an unfamiliar place. So maybe when you traveled to a different country or a different city, lots of people changed schools. What was that like? A move to a new town, a divorce in your family, or a time you joined a new sports team. These are all times where we found ourselves kind of in unfamiliar territory. And what were some of the challenges that you faced? Kendi outlines the weather, the hurricane, trying to set up a government. So what were some of the obstacles that you faced being a stranger in a strange land? And then this will be paragraph 1 in your article response. So once you've finished that, and you have already finished your summary because we did that in our last class, now it's time to choose a question from the article for your final paragraph. So I'm at the bottom of the article, and I've given you some possible analysis questions, or there might be something that you come up with that you want to talk about. So the first question is an interpretation question. I like to have these. It kind of helps us do a closer reading of the text. So here's a quote from the article where Kendi says, they used their pens as much as their pulpits. And a pulpit is it's the dais, it's the speaking platform in a church. So they use their pens as much as their pulpits, so they're writing as well as they're speaking to their congregation. And they use their power as much as their pens as part of this endeavor. And by endeavor, he's talking about creating a hierarchy where you have some people with more privilege and power at the top and others who have less privilege or power at the bottom. So in your response, I want you to interpret, what does he mean by this? Kind of decide what's the main idea of this sentence. Next question is a level 2, also an interpretation or opinion question. Why do you think Kendi begins this chapter with a detailed description of a hurricane? What purpose does it serve? What point is he making? So what's your opinion? Why does he give us 5 paragraphs of this story? In the last one, we're going to do a text-to-text or level 3, a connection question. What connection can you make between the story of Mather's voyage and the voyage of William Bradford? So thinking back on of Plymouth Plantation and that experience, and you can even refer back to that document, and the little bit of text that he gives us here, how are they similar? How are they different? So this would be a compare and contrast question. All right, so now that you have your question, now you're ready to do your response. We're going to write this paragraph as though we didn't already have a paragraph written, the summary paragraph, just for practice. So again, you're going to want a topic sentence that clearly states the author, title, and responds to the prompt. I have main idea here, but I really think here this should be, I'm going to change it, responds to the prompt. And then you're going to support the ideas, support with a quote. So that's your evidence. And then, boy, this is the wrong